Today is a terrific total body cardio and strength workout that you can do from a seated or standing position. Grab your dumbbells and let's go. All right, Killer Bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving. Come all the way to the edge of your seat and let's get started with some arm circles and high knees. You guys, welcome to the workout. I'm Paula B. I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend. And around here, we are all about making peace with your menopausal body by finding a healthy weight and moving in ways that feel like self-love. And you guys, today not only feels like self-love, today actually feels a little bit like motherly love. You guys, today's workout is brought to us by my friend Yuli, who actually sponsored this video through Patreon as an act of a birthday gift for her mother. Happy birthday, Vera. You guys, this made me so happy. I cannot even begin to tell you when I got the message that this daughter wanted to make a very special and specific workout for her mom by giving me a very generous monthly donation over on Patreon. It actually inspired me to do a couple of very interesting and different things today. Today is kind of an experiment, I'll tell you. It's been quite a while since I've done a seated workout, but I also am going to have for you here on screen all of the standing modifications so that you can make this workout work for you, no matter if you want to do the whole thing seated, the whole thing standing, parts of everything in between. No matter how you do today's workout, you can make it work for you. And what a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for me to be able to say thank you to all of my patrons here on screen. You guys, let's go ahead and do some arm crossers with some side tappers. We're just opening out that foot one at a time to each side, opening up your hips. Whew, doggies, already feeling this work today. And let me tell you, today's work is going to be so much fun, always. Now here's what I've got going on. I've got the handy dandy gym boss set for intervals of 30 seconds. And almost none of those is rest. We are getting a little bit of rest today, but generally speaking, we're gonna be go, go, go. So please make sure that you are taking today at a pace that feels like the best pace for you. If today is a push day for you, you are absolutely welcome to go a little bit faster and a little bit heavier than me. I'm taking today at a moderate pace with moderate weights, making it moderate for me. Like always in all of my workouts. Today especially though, you really get to see how you can make today work for you in all manner. But here's what it looks like. We're gonna start off with some cardio, and I've got a little circuit that we're gonna do twice. And then we'll get a slight bit of rest while we kind of transition into doing strength, which we're going to do, same kind of thing, where I've got a circuit that we're gonna do twice. And then we'll get a little bit of rest, and then I've got some more cardio. And oh yeah, we get a little bit of rest, and then I've got some more strength. So let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes, getting a nice big stretch right there in the middle of your middle. Opening up your chest, really already starting to open up those back muscles, thinking about squeezing from your shoulder blade in order to stretch your abs and obliques. We are getting ready for it. We're starting with cardio, which means to me always that we can kind of take it at an extended warm-up pace if that's what works best for you. If you're not feeling warmed up yet, absolutely feel free to scrub on back and do a little bit more, but I'm gonna go ahead and get the timer going, and we're gonna get started with some forward hinge arm flappers. Forward hinge arm flappers it's literally exactly what it sounds like. Our hands are flapping as though they are doing a jumping jack while we are hinging forward. I usually have my feet just about hip width apart so that I can get good balance while I'm tipping forward. And here we go. Now, because we are not getting any rest, it means that I'm going to be thinking about the next exercise pretty much while we're doing this one. I do want you, of course, to be having excellent form, meaning that your core is pulled in. We're really thinking about not curling forward, but hinging forward by having your core pulled in and your back staying nice and straight. When it beeps though, we're going to move into reach across, which is just what it sounds like. You're literally going to reach across in front of your body while tapping that same leg out to the what appears to be opposite side, because we're reaching across your body. And I want to say something really quickly before we go on. The next exercise is kick jacks, which is just what it sounds like. Our hands are doing jumping jacks and our feet are just kicking. But I wanted to tell you really quickly that here on screen I do have for you all of the standing modifications. I did a video a long time ago, oh my gosh, like at least 2 years ago, I think, where I did both seated and standing. So here we go with kick jacks. Feet are kicking, hands are doing jumping jacks. Our next exercise is going to be double knees. We're going to have both hands up overhead. We're going to bring one knee up to our hands where our hands are coming down to our knee 2 times on one side and then 2 times on the other. But I have this video where I filmed both the seated version and the standing version of the workout, with the same kind of idea that you could absolutely do this workout, either way, but you could sit for some things and stand for some things. So here we go with double knees, 2 knees on one side and then 2 knees on the other. Our next exercise is going to be a high knee elbow swing. So we're bringing up one high knee at a time while bringing our elbows back and forth. We're swinging our elbows and bringing up one high knee at a time. For my standing friends, you might know this as booty kicker elbow swings. I'm demonstrating something slightly different today. It's going to feel kind of weird. Everything I'm doing today, a little bit outside my comfort zone. So here we go with elbow swing, high knees. But here was the thing about that video where I did the seated and the standing version, is that it was absolutely the creepiest thing in the world to have me on screen for the entire workout not saying a word on one side of the screen. Coming up next, we're going to be doing toy soldiers. Going to have your hands up over your head, opposite hand reaching down towards your opposite kicking foot. So what I'm choosing to do today, here we go with toy soldiers. What I'm choosing to do today is a kinder, gentler version of that. I'm going to record, I haven't done it yet. You'll see it here on screen. I've already been on screen the entire time, but I'm going to record just a few seconds, a couple of repetitions of each exercise so that you can get the gist of it without having to watch me have that creepy face where I don't talk. You guys, this was the circuit. So coming up next, we're going to do forward hinge arm flappers again. And here it is right now, as a matter of fact. So feet about hip width apart, core is pulled in nice and tight. Your back stays super duper straight while we're hinging forward and flapping our arms. So now you have seen everything from this first cardio circuit. If there was anything that you didn't love or had a hard time with, you can absolutely feel free to swap it out, do something else if you'd like to, or maybe kind of get it this second time around. But no matter, it's only 2 times through. Here we go with reach across, reaching across in front of you, really thinking when you tap that leg out to the side, keeping your core braced, you guys. Here's the thing that I love about seated workouts. Everybody's always so surprised the first time they do a seated workout. Unless you've been doing them for a while, you might not know how much of a workout they really are. Your core is engaged the entire time. As long as your feet are moving at all, you actually have to pull in your core. Here we go with kick jacks. And that, my friends, is the real secret to being able to modify any kind of workout to be either seated or standing or some combination thereof. Engage your core. Isn't that a great secret? It's not really a secret at all. When it beeps again, we're doing double knees. But you guys, this is, to me, one of the best ways to actually learn how to engage your core. Here we go with double knees. 2 knees on one side and then 2 knees on the other. Now for me personally, I'm actually getting one booty, like half of my booty, kind of off the chair. Depending on your mobility, your situation, you might not be able to have any load bearing at all. This, by the time we're I'm not really standing on one foot, but kind of sitting on one foot, you might need to keep the other half of you all the way on the chair. Totally do whatever works for you. When it beeps again, we're doing high knee elbow swings. Here we go. So hands are swinging, elbows are swinging back and forth, one high knee at a time. I'm noticing my heart rate is up pretty darn good, and that means our next exercise, toy soldiers, thankfully, is the end of this little bit of cardio circuit. You guys, Today's workout I'm actually mostly excited about, not just for the opportunity to show you how very easy it is to modify either a standing workout to make it seated, here we go with toy soldiers, or a seated workout to make some of it standing. I'm really excited because I love getting a total body workout where we do cardio and strength. Now I will tell you, when it beeps again, we are going to get 30 seconds of rest. I do want us to kind of reset our mind, our brains, and go ahead and find your dumbbells if they're not right next to you, get a sip of water, whatever you need to do to get ready to be doing strength work. Strength work has a very different, there's our 30 seconds of rest, a very different vibe to it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my weights here. And even though the intervals are the same, we're moving at a very different pace. We're starting with alternating press-ups, which means that we're just gonna have the weights right here at our shoulders and we're gonna press up one arm at a time. It's such a great way to really get into how you can think about where one arm is. This is a great way to really notice your mobility in your shoulders. So here goes one arm pressing up, and then the other. Awesome. Really thinking about getting that biceps all the way next to your ear. Not your ear next to your biceps, don't move your head, but your biceps all the way next to your ear. We're not going to get a ton of reps done, and don't worry about that. We're moving, this is a little bit fast, frankly, but we're moving a little bit slower. Coming up next, we're doing front raise, side raise with a side tap. So one arm is gonna be raising out to the front, like this. So front raise, side raise, and then the other side, front raise, side raise. So whichever arm is coming up to the front, that's the leg that's tapping out to the side. We're really thinking about where our core is and where all of our limbs are in space and time. There's a lot going on here, and it's totally okay if we're not moving fast. This isn't cardio, except that your heart rate's still up, huh? Here we go with letter X's. The weights start right here in the middle. We're gonna make the top half of the letter X, really squeezing from your shoulder blades, and then the bottom half of the letter X, really squeezing from those shoulder blades again. If you need a rest, you just rest right here in the middle for a second. And then here we go with the top half. Core is pulled in super tight. Back is straight. Awesome job. Squeezing, squeezing, squeezing from the middle of your back. Now, when it beeps again, we're doing deadlifts. And I know you're thinking, Paula, we're sitting. You're gonna have your feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. You're gonna keep your back super duper straight. You're gonna tip forward, hinge forward, and then pull yourself back up. Now, the trick with this one when we're seated is that you actually have to notice which muscles are doing the work. You have to ask your glutes to do this work. Otherwise, your lower back will do the work, your legs will do the work, but when you squeeze from your butt, you will really feel the difference. When it beeps again, we're gonna do oblique crunches, which means that we're gonna have the weights right here on our shoulders. Actually, feet are gonna stay a little bit wide. We're gonna bring that same knee up towards the same side elbow. So squeeze your core to be able to bring that knee as close to your elbow as you can. You notice, I'm not tipping towards it. This is all leg, which means that we're really working our abs and obliques. This is like a crunch, and I feel it in my hip joints, actually. When it beeps again, we're doing peekaboos. And this will be something that happens sometimes because of that hip mobility issue. Peekaboos means that we've got the weights right about here at a little bit over our head. Elbows together at shoulder height, and then elbows as wide as you can get them, staying at shoulder height the entire time. Oh, which is the work here. There is no resting position on peekaboos. That's why it's the last thing in this circuit. I know it's the toughest one. But when it beeps again, we'll get to lower our hands just a little bit. We're going to start again with those alternating press-ups. Feel free, because there is no rest, to take a half a second in between exercises. There's no reason why we have to go fast through any of this. We're not actually trying to get a lot done. The point of strength work is much more about moving slowly and controlled with excellent form. Really noticing your brain-body connection. Noticing that you're using all of your shoulder complex to press up. Notice what it feels like when you get your biceps all the way next to your ear. Notice that we're doing a front raise, side tap situation now. When we are done with this second circuit, oh my goodness, we will be done with these exercises. There is no coming back to them. This is something of it is a very repetitive no repeat, meaning that we're just doing each circuit this twice in a row before moving on. So each exercise just enough to really think about where your body is moving and how it's moving, and notice that you're getting stronger. Here we go with letter X's without being too much. I'm very happy with my choice for 30-second intervals, because some of these exercises, you notice, 30 seconds really is plenty. Here's the top half of the letter X. Pull in your core, standing up, or sitting up rather, straight and tall, making sure that you have excellent form for all of these exercises. Great, great job. When we move back and forth, here we go with deadlifts, feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. Go ahead and hinge forward by thinking about keeping your back straight, and then squeeze, squeeze, squeeze from your booty to pull yourself back up. By having both the standing and seated version available to you, which, by the way, just so you know, even if it's not on screen, it's always available to you. My goal for you today is to learn that some exercises are really doable from a different position. Here we go with oblique crunches. Elbows are wide, hands are right there near your elbows, or shoulders rather. Goodness gracious, no, your hands are not near your elbows at all. They never could be. There's no joint in between. Your hands are up at your shoulders. Your elbows are wide, and we're trying to bring that knee as close to your elbow as you can without really crunching down into it, but by bringing that leg up. This is all abs and obliques, my friends. When it beeps again, we're doing peekaboos for the second and final time. Whew, shoulders, or excuse me, elbows. I'm having a really hard time with the difference between my elbows and shoulders today. I should go back to preschool, you know, with the head, shoulders, knees, and toes song. And open those elbows wide. Oh my gosh. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to our next beep, because we're going to put the weights down and we're going to go back into cardio. Now, help yourself to either putting the weights like completely down, or, I mean, like me, thank goodness, I've got the little dumbbell stand here. But make sure that they are out of your way enough, because of course with cardio sometimes we've got our feet moving around a little bit, but not so far out of the way that you can't reach them again when we come back to it. Okay, so speaking of out of the way just enough, we're going to get started with dancing X's. And what I want you to think about, we're coming back to cardio, which means that we're moving a little bit faster, but we're still using excellent form. We're still really thinking about pulling in your core and making sure that we're moving in a precision way that helps us tone even while we're getting our heart rate up. So dancing X's, we're making a big X. And then we're bringing our opposite knee towards our opposite elbow at the same time by crunching right here in the middle. When it beeps again, we're going to do twisting kicks, which is even more ab and oblique work, my friend. We're going to be kicking forward while twisting our torso into that leg, meaning that whichever leg is kicking is the direction which you are twisting. I got to scoot forward here on my chair a little bit. I realized I was kind of scooting back my sweaty booty. Here we go with twisting kicks. My sweaty booty is moving all over this chair. I tell you what, I thought about taking over Blossom's chair for this workout today, but you noticed that she wasn't giving it up. When it beeps again, we're doing rainbow jacks, which means that our hands are going overhead like a rainbow from side to side. As your hands go over to one side of your body, you're bringing up that knee on that side of your body. It is a lot like those oblique crunches, as a matter of fact, but because this is cardio, we're not really thinking, oh, I have to get my knee to my hands, or I have to get, you know, my knee very far up. Really what I want you to think about is moving your hands quickly enough that your heart rate comes up to a level that feels best for you, and you're engaging your cores, or just your one core. I was reading, coming up next, we're doing cans, which is plural. So that's why I had that at the end. A can, just a single one, is a knee and a kick on one side. So it's a knee and a kick and a knee and a kick. And depending on how you are taking today, you are welcome, if you'd like to have your hands up above your head for some of this. I'm going to go ahead and keep it a little bit lower here because this feels just right to me. When it beeps again, we're doing letter K's, which, okay, from a seated position is sort of like a little bit of a crunched up letter K, but it's still the same idea. We're going to start with hands overhead. One hand and one leg on the same side of your body are coming out and then coming out on the other side. On one side, it's kind of like the letter K still. It's a little bit bent in the middle. It's maybe like a cursive letter K. It's got some extra fanciness to it there. And then, you guys, oh my gosh, okay, this one's gonna be fun because I'm gonna have to think about it. We're doing butter churns. Your hands are gonna go up and down directly in front of your body. When your hands are under your chin, your legs are together. When your hands are down, one foot taps out to the side. Okay, I had to think about that so hard. And I gotta tell you that the way I think about it every time, and I wish I remembered who told me this, somebody was laughing about how they think about Wile E. Coyote pushing down on the dynamite, and he's so excited that his leg kicks out. When it beeps again, we're doing dancing X's. Both hands and feet are nice and wide, and we're crunching in the middle with your opposite knee and your opposite hand. Really, by having one limb from each side of your body crunching here in the middle, we're really thinking about holding in that core. Really thinking about excellent form today is the way that we get total body results. Yes, of course, we're working your heart and lungs. We're doing that just by moving. But the rest of the way that we get anything really good out of a workout is by thinking about it, moving with intention. When it beeps, we're doing twisting kicks, which means exactly what it sounds like. We're going to twist into that kick. Scoot my way forward on the chair a little bit. This pants must be especially slidey today or something, because I'm really having trouble holding myself in the correct position. When it beeps again, we're doing rainbow jacks, hands going up overhead from side to side like a rainbow while bringing up one leg at a time. And you notice lots of lateral motion today. I did that on purpose. I know that sometimes, here we go with rainbow jacks, sometimes we think about a seated workout being so forward and back. But I want you to know that no matter what your situation right now, maybe you've got an injury, maybe you just need to be seated for a while, you can move in all planes of motion and get a really thorough workout, even from a seated position. When it beeps again, we're doing can-cans. We don't have to just limit ourselves to moving in one direction. Here we go, with a knee and a kick, and a knee and a kick. But rather, by thinking a little bit outside the box, by thinking a little bit outside of what you're used to, like I'm doing today, by having both seated and standing filming here, but we can get everything that we need out of any workout. When it beeps again, we're doing letter Ks. Even if it doesn't look exactly like a letter K, I know that you still get the point that we can make today's workout. Here we go. One hand and then the other hand. We start in the up position and then we come out to the side like a letter K. And nope, that one is the letter K. Nope, that one is. Yes, K points towards kitchen. You guys, I tell you what, you guys offer me the best mnemonic devices. You really do, because you know how much I love them. When it beeps again, we're doing those butter churns for the second and final time. You know, I'm usually thinking about a million other things that I wanted to talk to you about while we're doing these workouts. Okay, so hands up and as they come down. But I do really like to have a particular way to think about things. And it's funny because, well, it's funny for a couple of reasons, because we're challenging a lot of that today. You know, when we think about traditional exercise or we think about how things should be done, sometimes we don't realize that we have more options. You are absolutely, totally welcome to do part of this workout seated, part of it standing. Here's 30 seconds of rest before we get started with strength again. This is our final section. So these next 6 exercises are the last ones that we're going to be doing. We're going to go through this circuit twice, just like we did with the first little strength circuit. But when you open up your mind to realize that there are all kinds of possibilities for staying fit, getting fit, losing weight, staying healthy, staying active, you'll realize that there's so much we can do. We're gonna get started with rows. So we're bending forward slightly. Hands are just relaxed. We're gonna bring those dumbbells all the way up to our armpits and then relax them back down again. So you're bending forward ever so slightly, and by bending, of course, I mean hinging. Your core is pulled in the entire time. Your glutes are engaged the entire time, and you're really thinking about pulling back with those big back muscles, pulling your shoulder blades together. When it beeps again, we're gonna have hands up overhead. We're gonna do overhead to high knees, which is literally exactly what it sounds like. Both hands up in a press up position, except your palms face each other the entire time. We're gonna bring both hands down to one high knee and then back up. Go ahead and get your full range of motion. If you can bring those biceps all the way next to your ears, you'll notice it's a little bit further back than maybe you want them to go. I know, it's kind of tough. When it beeps again, we're doing side bends. This will be one of the smallest motions that we're doing today, and yet you'll notice it as much as anything else. We're just going to bend to the side wherever your spine can take you, and then we'll pull it back up. This is actually a little bit easier to do seated because your hips don't have the ability to move quite as much. In fact, if you struggle with side bends, go ahead and have a seat. Notice how different it feels. Notice all that work in your abs and obliques instead of your hips. When it beeps again, we're doing swinging knees to elbows, which means that we're gonna have the weights up in our shoulders, elbows pointed forward. You're gonna bring one knee up to its opposite elbow, and then the same elbow, and then down, and then the opposite knee to the opposite elbow. Yes, this is all abs and obliques, so of course I'm grunting. Did you think I wouldn't? What we're thinking about here, of course, is having your core pulled in nice and tight. You might swing your elbow a little bit in order to get it, but I'm really asking you not to crunch down into it. We're sitting up straight and tall, and then we're doing good mornings. Actually, go ahead and keep your hands there on your shoulders, but widen out those elbows. This is a deadlift motion. Oh, but you notice how much more difficult it is to bend forward when you've got your hands up and your elbows wide. This might also be an incredibly small motion for you. Don't be alarmed if this feels difficult. Do be alarmed, or at least cautious if you feel it in your lower back. When it beeps again, we're actually going to kind of stay in that slightly hinged forward motion, and we're going to do flies. You're going to bring your feet together though. So from that slightly hinged forward motion, hands are down here at the sides of your knees. We're gonna open them up nice and wide, keeping your palms facing each other, and then your palms will end up facing more or less the ground, depending on how wide you can get your hands. Really thinking about not shrugging your shoulders up, but rather pulling this motion from the middle of your back. Those shoulder blades squeezing together to get wherever you can get your arms. And then here we go. All right, from that same position, we're doing rows now. Lots of back work to be had today. That was the entire circuit. So now we're starting again with rows. You've seen them all, and all we have to do is get through them one more time, my friend. And I say that like it's a hardship. I love to do strength work. I love to notice my body getting stronger. I love to notice the connections that I make between my brain and my body when I really, really feel where the work is coming from. Here we go into overhead to high knees. So palms stay facing each other, and then we bring down both hands towards one high knee, trying really hard not to curl. That is the trick with any of this high knee motion, is that we want to be really careful, oh my goodness, about sitting up straight and tall and having your core pulled in, having your core zipped up, so that this work is coming from your abs, from your glutes. Oh my goodness. And then here we go into side bends, where we're getting a lot of work from our obliques as well. As I started this conversation many exercises ago, everything is ab work, if you know how. Everything in a seated workout uses your abs. My friends, if you ever have trouble finding your abs and obliques using your core, sit down for a workout. When it beeps again, we're doing swinging knees to elbows. Going to have your hands on your shoulders with your elbows pointed forward, and then sitting up straight and tall, opposite elbow to opposite knee, or rather opposite knee to opposite elbow, and then same elbow, and then back down. Really squeeze, squeeze, squeeze there in the middle. Do I care if your elbow actually touches your knee? I really don't. What I'd like you to think about though is really sitting up straight and tall, trying to bring your knee up without really crunching down into it. When it beeps again, we're doing good mornings, which means that basically you're going to keep your hands right here, but you're going to swing those elbows out nice and wide, and then we'll hinge forward and really engage those glutes. This is butt work. Don't let your lower back take the action here. Ask your glutes to do their job even while you're sitting on them. Isn't that amazing how you can actually feel them working even while they're being sat upon? When it beeps again, we're going to stay in that forward hinged position ever so slightly and do flies to finish up this last round. Oh my goodness, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze from those shoulder blades. Core is pulled in even while we're not really zipped up. Even while you are leaning forward or hinged forward, you can keep your spine nice and tall, keep your spine nice and straight, keep your core engaged so that all of this work is coming from those big, big muscles in your back. It's called your latissimus dorsi. I call them swimmer muscles because it's those beautiful muscles that you get to see. Okay, 30 seconds of rest. We are done. Oh, but we're not finished. You know that. Here's what we're gonna do though. We're gonna put down one dumbbell and we're gonna pick a side, any side. For me, I'm actually gonna do my left side first. We're gonna come all the way to the edge of your chair. Now this is not strictly speaking load bearing. You're gonna have one leg that's taking the balance work. We're gonna have the other leg up and we're gonna be doing press ups. So it is a side balance press up. Oh boy, are you gonna notice that. I noticed it already in my hip and glute. So really think about squeezing from that glute and pressing up. Now I'm noticing myself here in the camera that pressing up feels a little bit difficult because I'm leaned over. Figuring out where you can get this work from the middle of your back, squeezing those big back muscles just like we've been talking about, rather than kind of flopping your arm. We're really thinking about if you were sitting upright, that biceps would be right next to your ear. When it beeps, we're going to transition relatively quickly into doing the same thing on the other side, and then this is it, my friends. There's no two times about this. Oh, I'm so glad I started with the other side because this one is not easy, but easier and more coordinated. And I knew it would be because my right side always just feels a little bit better. Oh my goodness, you guys, the next time it beeps is the last time it's going to beep. Stay strong. While we're getting stronger, you are doing such a good job. Making sure that your core is pulled in and you're breathing and that was a really good birthday workout. Thank you, Vera. Thank you for that. You guys, let's do a bit of cooling down. And I will tell you, ordinarily, if you do my normal workouts, here we go with some arm circles with high knees. If you do my normal standing workouts, I have an extended cool down for you. Today, I don't have one that is seated. I will show you the extended cool down that I offer you every time. It is a bit of walking. So depending on your situation, your mobility, your ability to bear a load right now, that may or may not be appropriate for you. If a standing cool down is not appropriate for you, please scrub back and do this one again. It's just a really good idea to bring your muscles all the way back into a cooled position where they've kind of stretched back out to their regular length again. When we do workouts, I know you notice it, but we squeeze our muscles. Like we squeeze them a lot. And one of the things that can happen is if we just stop a workout and then get right on with our day, is those muscles can kind of stay squeezed. By stretching them out like this and giving them a little bit of relaxing time where we are intentionally letting them know it's okay, we're all done, we can go ahead and move on. That's what can help you not have sore muscles tomorrow, is because you've let them relax from that squeezed position. Let's go ahead and do some arm openers with that side tap. And then close it up and give yourself a big, big, big hug, my friend, and a pat on your sweaty back. What a great job you did today. I'm super, super proud of you. I hope that if it's not your birthday, I hope that you had a great day. And if it is your birthday, I hope you had a great birthday. Oh my gosh. What a fun thing to give yourself on your birthday is a workout where we talk about your birthday. Thank you guys so much for everything. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for working out with me. Thank you, if you choose to, for subscribing with that button right there. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.